In 2018, we embarked on the journey of a lifetime, living and traveling full-time in our self-converted van. We're gonna go for it. Join us as we continue to explore the beauty around us, one adventure at a time. Last week, we were exploring the beauty that New York State has to offer. This week, we have been very busy. We have driven over 1,000 miles in 5 states to our annual seasonal job. This year, we're trying something a little different. But first, we got to get there. We noticed a few days ago coming up here that we started to get a vibration or a shake.
Yeah, and it wasn't coming from the steering wheel. It was more in the seat or in the back. We could hear a lot of things shaking in the back.
A lot of rattles.
And then my legs are like shaking back and forth, and we're like, okay, something's up.
Something's wrong. So we told our patrons about this. They asked us some really important questions. And when we had our last work done, we got 2 brand new tires in the front.
Yeah, and we tried to be as cheap as possible and
Frugal.
rotate the front ones to the back and then put the new tires on the front because it is front wheel drive.
So what we think happened is we think that because the ball joints were bad and that was replaced.
And the struts were bad.
That the tires cupped.
They were cupped. So we did have some, one of the tire mechanics say that the tires were cupped. And you could tell, I mean, they're super worn on one side and not the other.
So we decided to get 2 additional new tires.
Which we probably should have did the first time.
But we were trying to be frugal. So
here's the test.
And we don't know yet. We haven't went on a test drive.
Yeah, we're about to start it up, so you'll find out at the same time we do.
About 50 miles per hour, we would really start to notice the shake.
Yeah, 52 miles an hour. That was the magic number.
Okay, what are we at now?
35, 40. We're getting there. 45.
50.
52.
Oh no! It's shaking.
But not as bad. It's shaking, but not as bad.
Ah. Okay.
No, it's not like it was.
Hit the gas again.
It's still shaking, but not like it was.
Well, that sucks.
Well, we needed the new tires anyway.
Yeah, but that doesn't help the initial problem.
I think we're just going to drive with it for a while. I don't know what to do. You have to be on the throttle. As soon as you let off the throttle, you don't feel it. It just goes smooth.
And the front tires wouldn't do that if they were out of balance, right?
It would shake the steering wheel.
The steering wheel, yeah.
And there's a tiny bit of shake in the steering wheel, but nothing that.
Let me have one of my guys take it for
Okay.
a rip with me, with one of you guys.
Most vehicles that are rear-wheel drive will have a drive shaft that goes all the way back. There'll be a bearing right in the center.
Yeah.
But this has kind of got a bearing bolted right to the back of the transmission.
What should we tell them that you thought we should check?
You should definitely check the CV axles, and then lockup on the torque converter.
Okay.
Make sure the lockup is doing what it's supposed to between overdrive and not. So, but that's where I would lean. I would lean to CV axle, transmission issues. So, but the shake will definitely it will get worse. It's just a matter of how long it takes.
Okay. The mechanic thinks it's this. It could be the CV joint up front, and we did have the CV axle replaced on
the left side,
on the driver's side already. So maybe it's the passenger side. But he did say that right now we're only having the problem at about 50 to 55 miles an hour. He says he thinks it'd be fine for us to drive on it, but as time goes on, it's not going to get better. It's just going to get worse.
But he did say he did not think it was a tire issue because when he let off the gas, it stopped shaking.
Which totally makes sense because the tires are still spinning. So if you don't have the shake then I didn't even think about it though.
So then he thinks possibly transmission?
possibly transmission if it's not the front CV axle.
Dun dun dun.
So
the dreaded transmission.
Problem not solved, but I think, you know, we're fine for now. We're
just gonna ignore it for now.
We're about ready to work the potato harvest. We're not gonna have to drive that far to get there. I think we're just gonna worry about it after that.
Yes.
Today we are in Minnesota and we have finally reached our destination. We had to move fast. We had to be here by the end of the month because we signed up for the potato harvesting job. And this is new for us. We're not sure what to expect. Everything's going to have to pretty much line up for this to work out. We're still finding out the information, but we're concerned about Rudel. We're gonna be able to have to watch him at least at breaks while we're working. There's details like that. So this is exciting, and if it does work out, this could be our home for the next month. This is paid for by the company that has hired us to work the potato harvesting job this year. So this is going to be our seasonal work. But we're pretty spoiled here in the campground because we have everything in one place. We have electricity, water, hot showers, all very convenient. And I must say the weather has been extremely hot. So hot that they have...
It's already warm out here.
It's already warm. And Carrie and Rudel and myself are not doing well. But they have postponed the potato harvest job for about a week. So we have got some special plans that we're going to do, something that we haven't done for the whole 5 years that we've been on the road. We've never done this. It's something new. We're gonna take a trip to South Dakota.
Dave's told you how hot it's been this week, and that's why we're not working. And the last couple days have been pretty miserable.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we have a little swim beach that's only half mile from us. But today and tomorrow are the hottest days of the week.
And for us, it's the hottest days of the entire year, and summer's over.
Yes, and this is the hottest we have ever stayed in a place in the van in 5 years.
Oh, dang.
So it was Sault Ste. Marie, it was 90 degrees.
I remember that.
The first year we were on the road and we were dying.
Yeah.
And we're right back there.
Except for it's gonna be 100.
It's gonna be 100 today. Now, usually we don't stay in these areas where it says hot. We either find high elevation or we leave, but because we're working, we're kind of locked into this position.
Right.
There is a reason why we have to go to South Dakota. So we thought, let's drive on the hottest day of the year, the hottest day of our entire van life. This is the first time in the history of van life that we have ever stayed in a motel. And it is hot. It's over 100 degrees outside. We don't want Rudel standing in the sun too long. So I think we're just gonna run in, get to the room, and then we'll give you more details. Oh yeah, you like that very well?
Good boy.
This guy, we never found in the room, but...
Oh, it's nice and cool in here.
Oh, that feels good. What do you think, Rudel? Should have brought your bowl, huh?
Hi, what do you think, buddy? Look at all this room you get to lay down. Yeah. Okay, here you go. There you go. There's your water. Yeah, there's your food. So the reason why we have a hotel is well, we'll start back at the beginning. In 2018, we came to South Dakota and we established our residency here. So every 5 years, you gotta come back and renew your driver's license. And because we're nomadic, we have to show proof of residency. And for us, that means we either have to present a receipt for an RV park, a campground, or a hotel.
Yeah, just anywhere, but you have to have the receipt with both your names on it. So
now it just happened to be that it's Labor Day weekend, so all the campgrounds are full. It's extremely hot.
yeah, and even in any campground or just finding a place to free camp, it's just too hot. We wouldn't have gotten any sleep at all. Yeah, this isn't our kind of weather. I don't do well in heat. I don't think Carrie does either.
No, and Riddle definitely doesn't. And the only reason why we're here is because we're working that job. Otherwise we would leave, but we're not able to do that.
Yeah, in a couple days, almost a week before the weather cools down, and then we'll start back to work again.
Yeah, it starts cooling down on Tuesday slowly. By the time we get back, it'll be around 80, which is doable. 100 degrees is not doable in the van.
Nope.
Terry creates the wildlife and Americana images that have come to symbolize nature and life in a simpler time.
As it turns out, the Redland Art Center is within walking distance of our hotel. Never heard of Terry Redland? I hadn't either. But if you're ever in Watertown, South Dakota, this is a must stop, especially if you love landscape and nature photography. This building was built by Terry's son to showcase his father's legacy. It has hundreds of original works of art inside. Be prepared to stay for hours. And did I mention this entire art exhibit is completely free? We are up bright and early at just after 7 a.m. The DMV driver's license office says it opens at 7.
Yeah, we want to catch it first thing because we've got a long drive back.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure we get it done and over with in case we have to drive to another town.
Plan B is if it doesn't work here for whatever reason, then we drive another 100 miles south to Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
And we're hoping not to have to do that. I think we have all our paperwork in order. We'll let you know as soon as we're done. Mission successful.
Yeah.
So if you missed it, the whole reason we came to South Dakota is because we needed new driver's licenses because it's been 5 years.
Yeah, and it was pretty quick and easy, a little bit longer than last time. It took a total of about 30 minutes, but there was 8 people ahead of us in line.
Because we are nomadic, we had to, well, every resident has to show 2 pieces of mail, which we had. And then because we don't actually have a physical residence in the state, we have to show what they call a proof of residency, which is a receipt from a campground, an RV park, or a hotel, which is why we stayed in the hotel as well,
Yep.
in addition to it being hot. And a couple of key tips. When you get your receipt, you have to have both names on it. So that was very helpful.
Yeah, well, if there's 2 people, yeah.
Yeah. And then 2 pieces of mail, so make sure you come with that. And then Dave's a veteran, so he has veteran stamped on his license.
Yeah, so I needed my DD-214.
Yep. And the licenses were literally hot off the press. These are the brand new ones, and they're good for 5 years.
Yeah, they make it pretty painless.
They do.
It's great to have it done for another 5 years.
Mission successful.
Yep, time to head back. I know it's been a few days since we've done any recordings, but we've been busy. And just inform you what's going on here. So I told you before that our main concern was having a dog at this kind of job because we've never done this before. We didn't know if it was gonna work. The people that hired us thought that we would be able to work it out and it would be fine. We did have some trouble, but let me start off by saying that we are working at a potato place that makes French fries. So it's a French fry factory. Big potato truck going by right now. I'm gonna walk over here where it's a little bit quieter. All right, so we totally understand that there's rules and you wouldn't want everybody to let their dog out around a place where they're making food. So, and then we were also concerned that it would be too warm. So now that we've been in it a week, the warm stretch is pretty much over, so that's gone. But we were taking Rudel to a location that is away from the factory, but still on their property because their property is huge. But we had a security guard follow us around in his security truck and then talk to us about how there's not supposed to be a dog. We told him that we are working for a third party that does quality assurance for the potatoes. And he said well, no dogs are allowed, but I'll ask my boss to see if you guys are going to be okay. But I think it's a bad idea to have your dog in your van all day while you're working. I kind of agree with him. It is a bad idea. We're already having a problem with their dog on the premises, and we understand. And they said, okay, well, if you guys can work alternate shifts, one works day shift and one works night shift, and you won't have to have your dog on the property as much. I actually think Carrie came up with that idea, but she let him know that we could work day shift and night shift, and that way Rudel wouldn't have to be around. And they said, okay, no problem. So super easy to work with. That could have went badly, so we're thankful for that. We started off by working day shifts and just kind of learning the job. Today we are starting the day shift. Carrie's at work right now, and I'll be working the night shift tonight. So I think it's gonna be fine. And there's really kind people here that said that we could ride with them to work and back, and we can actually leave the van at the campground. So Rudel doesn't have to be away from us hardly at all, just a couple hours a day between the two shifts. So all good news. And like I said, it's starting to cool down and feel good. Rudel's gonna have no problem. He's only gonna be about, I think, 2 or 3 hours by himself all day long. And I'm pretty sure he can handle that. So that's kind of my update. I think I'll be doing an update maybe once a week. And if I find out new information that's going on, I know some of you may be interested in what's it like at the potato harvest, and we'll tell you all about it.
What we're doing is we're doing the quality check. So these potatoes come in out of the field. I stand up there and I look at the potatoes. They come through and I grade the potatoes. Are they a number 1 potato, the best potato there is? Are they the number 2 potato? And what makes that difference is how many blemishes they have. So if you get this perfect potato, that's a McDonald's French fry potato. That's a number 1 potato. Yeah. And so we weigh them by blemishes and we weigh them by weight. So all the way up from over 2 pounds, all the way down to 3 ounces. And what happens is the farmer is getting paid by all of this money. They are gathering so much information, it is mind-blowing. So after I do all of that, every potato gets weighed, it goes downstairs, and then tell them what you did the first week.
So I've just been cutting the potatoes in half and looking for defects and then grading the defects. And so you're just slicing potatoes in half the whole shift. But it does hours and hours. So it looks like tonight I'm starting a new job where I'll be driving the forklift and moving those totes of potatoes around from one spot to another.
You're jumping ahead.
Oh.
So once they cut all these potatoes in half. Well, not every potato. They take a certain amount of every size. And then they check for internal blemishes. Then they go to this big steam machine and then they steam them and all the peel comes off. And then they check them for bruising. And then yesterday what I was doing is I would take like 10 pounds of potatoes and I would weigh them in an empty basket, and then I would dunk them in water and weigh them in the water. And still, like I said, this blows my mind. I have no idea what they're doing with all of this information, but it's called zero gravity. And they said that they're measuring how much water is in the potato if they want to dehydrate it.
Oh.
It's way too much science for me.
Yeah.
I just cooked the potato and let me eat it. But all of this gets recorded, and then the farmers get paid according to all these numbers. And how that works, I don't really know, but I know it's really important that we do that so they get paid.
All right, so this is what I look like when I'm extremely tired, and that's what I am right now. A little rough around the edges, but I'm very happy and thankful for this job and happy to be here. Things are working out well. Couldn't ask for a better place to have Rudel, a work situation where he can be with at least one of us at all times. The weather's starting to cool down. We're almost to the month of October, which is probably my favorite month of the year, just because the temperatures start cooling off at night and the trees have turned colors and there's just not as many people around, so it's easier to find amazing camping places without the crowds. And I just get excited this time of year every time. But we got about maybe 3 more weeks of work, and then we will be back on the road. So I'm probably gonna miss this place. I really enjoy the forest. This campground has been excellent. The work's been good. So, but I will look forward to being back on the road and finding free camping again. That never gets old. I never get tired of it. This is exactly 2 weeks later than the last time I did a recording, and I'm on the same path here. And you might notice that the trees are looking a little bit differently. So that happened pretty quick. So I've been working nights, Carrie's been working days. Rudel has been living a great life with either one of us in the van at all times. So we're able to leave the van in the campground, and that has been super nice for him and definitely making this possible. I have to admit, I am pretty tired after working that many days in a row. This is my first day off. It looks like we could work another 20 days in a row as soon as we get back to work. So I actually have tonight off, and Carrie has tomorrow a day off. So we're not getting days off at the same time. And I was looking at this on the ground right here. So a lawnmower came through here and wiped out a whole patch of shaggy manes. And you can tell that they're, well, it's hard to tell with this camera, but they're turning kind of black. And that's what shaggy manes do. But there's a couple that popped up after the lawnmower came through. And of course you want to make sure that you identify your mushrooms properly before you eat them. But these are edible. Don't take my word for that. But they're super delicate, and they come up in large groups, and they turn to an inky black when they're not edible anymore, or not, you know, you shouldn't eat them after that. They just kind of dissolve into a black ink. Pretty cool mushroom. They're pretty tasty. So I'm thinking the next update, I'll update you if anything special happens, but working the potato harvest here, you know, it's all inside. It's standing in one place for long hours at a time, which is a little bit hard for me. But, you know, like I said before, we'll do some pros and cons at the end of this work harvest and let you know what we think about it. Is it worth it is the question. I'm gonna enjoy my walk, go back to the van, and maybe take a nap because I'm completely exhausted. And I can't help but look in the woods for mushrooms because I know there's some out here. And we'll talk to you soon. We've been here 6 weeks to the day.
And that's it. We're done for our 6th season of work camping. This is the potato harvest, our first year in Monaga, Minnesota. We had a great time. I'm really happy we did it.
Yeah, I would definitely do it again.
Definitely do it again. But we're ready to get back on the road.
Yes, it is time.
And if you may not know, we've been having a little bit of issues with the van. So we're gonna limp it
To the shop.
and hopefully make it to Dallas so I can photograph the wedding.
Yeah, we've got places to be. So time to hit the road again.
Yes. All right, high five, we did it.
Woo!
Woo! Now that our work obligations are fulfilled, it's time to head south and see if we can get the van sorted out. We have an appointment in just 2 days, and hopefully we will have some answers. We're brutal.
We might have a tired look on our faces because we're smack dab in the middle of the potato harvest and we just worked like 20 days straight.
I was just looking in the mirror and thinking I look tired.
So we're tired, that's why. But the potato harvest has been nice so far.
Yes.
I like the pause. Where's Rudel? Does Rudel need to be here?
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh my. And Potato Head's, that's Stormtrooper. Oh
You
my gosh.
guys. Okay.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Here on. We have to show you something.
Oh yeah. Take him back.
I don't know if I can turn it around. Okay, come on. We have to show you something.
They didn't know, right?
They didn't know. Look!
That's perfect.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
It's Sped Trooper.
And so I think we're gonna put it on the dash.
We're gonna put it on the dash.
Yeah. If it's not in the way of the camera.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Blueberries.
That is very blue. Wowza. Oregon ice cream.
Oregon blueberries.
Oregon blueberries.
Oregon blueberries. Fresh made at the campsite. By Darren.
That's a treat. If you would like to support our channel, please consider becoming a patron. We also have stickers available in our website store. Thank you for watching.